Hey everybody, it's Phil from Behringer. Welcome to Music Group TV. Thanks for watching. I want to talk to you about the X-Air app and about the EQ section of it. It's kind of like a little bit of a how-to. So as you can see, I have the EQ page open here and it has 4 bands. And these are selectable. What's really hip is, and I'll talk about each one of them, but I can have the parametric EQ, I can have a low cut, a high shelf, a parametric EQ, a vintage EQ, a high shelf, or a high cut. A lot of different terminology, really simple answers for most of them. What's happening is that for each of these bands, I get to choose how specific or how general I want the EQ to be. For instance, right now on the lows, if I do a low cut, you can automatically see right here that it's a nice slope off of the bottom end. And if I just kind of bring it around, I can choose how high frequency-wise, like right now it's at 153.5 hertz is where it's cutting off. So it's like if you wanted to get rid of some noise on the bottom end or something like that, you're getting a little bit of a muddy mix. You could put this on your, across your bass or kick drum perhaps, or across your 2 mix, your stereo mix, and make that kind of handy. If I change this to a full parametric EQ, now you can see that it's a lot more specific. And you can hear the difference. If I bring up like about 100 hertz, what's happening is that now you're hearing a lot more boom in my voice. And if I take it away, it takes away all that stuff in the bottom of the voice. So 100 hertz is basically on a regular stereo, it's the bass knob is usually 100 hertz and the treble knob is usually 10K hertz, typically. Sometimes it roams to 80 hertz and 12K, but those are the general settings for home stereo. So if you use that as a reference, that can kind of help here. This is 100 hertz. So this is the same as turning up the bass and turning down the bass on your home stereo. So as we go through, there's a couple of key frequencies. You have 4 bands, like I said, and each of them can be very specific or very broad. So another nice one is like 500 hertz, 400 or 500 hertz. If you're getting that boxy sound, I can get rid of that by just bringing down the 400 or 500 hertz, and I can really kind of give that, it's like low kind of throaty boxy sound is about 400 or 500 when it sounds like it's kind of in a tin can. That's kind of that vibe. So that's a nice little frequency there. Another handy little frequency is like 1.5K, 1.2 to 1.5K. And I'll do it just naturally first, but it's kind of like that nasal sound. That's what about 1.2 to 1.5. And now I'll do it with the EQ. You can hear it really get nasal there, and you hear it go away. So that's kind of like another key frequency, is anywhere in that ballpark. And then the last one, you can see right now I have it set to a high shelf. So that just means I can add a lot more top end to the overall sound in general, or I can make it lower. And again, I can choose where I want that frequency to come in. What I tend to do with some of the high-end stuff is I will make it a specific frequency, because the edge of sibilance, a lot of people have trouble getting the vocal to come through the mix. And sometimes that's just a matter of making the sibilance, the actual pronunciation of syllables, more audible. And it changes between male and female voices and ages and stuff like that. But in general, anywhere between 3.5 to 4.2K is a nice spot. For instance, here, all of a sudden, you start hearing my S's go away, and it's kind of a little bit harder to understand what I'm saying because I'm cutting out about 3.5K. So if I bring it up though, all of a sudden, my voice is kind of popping through. And where this is kind of handy is you can make frequency holes for your vocals also. For instance, if I had acoustic guitars playing and I was having trouble hearing the vocal, instead of bringing up the volume, maybe I can duck that 3.5 in the guitars and I can add the 3.5 to the vocal. I've made a little hole for them in the guitars, and the frequency will pop through. Because as we all know, if you just start turning up faders, well, now the vocal's hot, so I need the guitar to come up. Well, now the guitar's up, I need the bass up, and everything's at 12 after a couple of minutes, and it all sounds really not the greatest it could. So this is a handy little EQ to have in here in the X-Air, and it's available for every channel. And if you go, oh, I don't know what frequency this is or that is, you have a real-time analyzer that's built in, so all of a sudden you can see the frequencies of my voice as I speak to you. Here's the lows down here, and here's the tinny top up the top. You can see it reflecting. That's really nice to have, and it's for every channel. You can make it happen. A little bit about the EQ section of the X-Air. We're going to have more videos. Thanks for watching.